My relationship with my country is still very strong because I still have family there and I go there all the time. I don't think that this album Oyo will be what it is. All my album I've been doing through my whole career will be what it is without my link, my really organic and deep rooted in Benin music and in my country. So it's part of me. That's never questionable, and that is always there 24/7. I'm who I am. I'm born in Benin, raised in Benin, and I'll always be a Beninese, and I'll always be an African. Independence, I'm always concerned about the 50 years of independence that we are celebrating, because the question I have to ask most of the leaders in Africa is, what are we celebrating? Success or failure? We have some successes, but mostly we have failures. We have failed the people of every country in Africa because we haven't been able to give people access to free education, to health care, and to decent life. Poverty is rampant in Africa, and poverty have bring people to desperate solutions that most of the time are short-term solutions, not long-term solutions. So for me, I think this year is the year where every leader in Africa should sit and really do a kind of checklist of what have to be done for Africa to play a role in this 21st century and to move forward, to improve, and for every child not to have that kind of cap on top of the head when you're born. If you succeed living till 5 and beyond 5, you have a chance to live. Every child that is born in Africa today have to be able to live freely in good health like any other kid in the world. So for me, talking about independence, 50 years of independence, it's a matter of question how we move from here. There's nothing we can celebrate right now. Till we eradicate poverty in Africa, no leaders in Africa can tell me that they are proud of who they are proud of their country, they are proud of what they are doing. We have to eradicate poverty. We celebrate soccer. We celebrate football. There have been a lot of doubts about the capacity of Africa to host the World Cup. And we proved to the world that we can, and it's one of the best World Cup ever. And it gives to the people of Africa more strength, more dignity, even the poorest of the poorest, because it put us in the map as capable people to do whatever we want to do when we put our minds to it. So now it's up to the leaders to really harvest the benefits of this World Cup. And if they let this momentum slide, there's nothing that can help us anymore in Africa. And I'm very hopeful that we're going to be able to really harvest the best out of it and do the best we can for our people. The thing is, there is an interest from some people that have power that can manipulate the media and put anything out there in portraying Africa as a very dangerous continent, especially South Africa, because their business depends on the fear that they install in you people for you not to go to Africa. Because if you develop tourism, people are going to see Africa differently. People are going to start dealing with people, really, and realize that even the poorest in Africa, they have soul. They are human beings. We can't just forget that they have the same life as we have here. They are parents. They have kids, they have household. They are not that different from us. And fear is a business matter too. So during this World Cup, they invest money to tell the rich country people, don't come to South Africa. Don't go to Africa. And we have proven by not making much of talk and statement, by just putting together an event that we know how to put together. The media have a real responsibility here in the way of telling the single story of Africa. No one ever tell one story about Europe. No one ever tell one story about Latin America or America. Why should people not think about why do we hear all the time this one story about Africa? There is something that is wrong, because if Africa is that poor, what are the oil companies doing in Africa? What are the beers doing in Africa? People make money in Africa, billions every year. Egbeña eso que bana, una familia será, eso ñañizo que vaya. I think my country have made some changes and some progress. Education today is free, but a lot of things have to be done for that that education to be more of a quality, and that the fact that the tuition is free cannot be by itself enough, because if the tuition is free, the uniform and the books are still at the charge of the parents. We have to find a way in Benin and in most of the countries in Africa to make our education completely free for the poor kids to be able to have access to education, or we find partnership to give scholarship to kids to go to school. And in that regard, Benin is doing a lot of works compared to what I've seen, like I would say 10 years ago. How do you want to recognize that the world, entire planet, have been playing African music since the beginning? So if you say that, then you cannot tell the story, that fear story, that undermining the capacity of African to take lead in their own life. You can't tell that story anymore, because music is powerful. Music is beyond language, as you said, and it's an universal language. Wherever you go, in every country, there's music that speaks for the people of the country. The culture of the people, it goes through music, through painting, through writing, through poem, through different forms of arts. If you start giving that credit to Africa, then it changes completely the perspective of the world. Carlos Santana used to say, music that we play is African. And a lot of people are mad at him because of that, because people are still, and they feel very comfortable about undermining the value of what comes from Africa. I am in the category of world music, and I say, what is world music? Tell me. I can sing in any language, I can do any kind of music as an African. But the media are still stuck in that story. How many African artists you see on primetime TV in the rich world? Not many. So we have to do our own job too. Because if you want to educate people, you have to start putting the thing out there for the people to be able to make the choices themselves. Don't impose on people what you think is okay. So for me, you call my music the way you want. You won't stop me from being the international and the citizen of the world that I am, because my parents didn't raise me for me to think that it's only about Benin that I have to think about. They brought the world to me through music. That's what this album Oyo is about. I listen to music from different part of the world, different language have been spoken home. Most of my brothers and sisters speak Spanish. I speak German, English, French. I speak different languages. So why should I sit and let somebody put me in a coffin? No way.